So this story is pretty frustrating for anybody who understands even the most basic parts of political theory. But do you guys remember in 2018 during the midterms where Taylor Swift actually came out in an act of rarity? She is not somebody who comes out and does this. She came out against the Republicans, said to vote Democrat, and it meant a lot from her because she typically stays out of politics and doesn't say anything. She was very anti-Trump. And so what's going on is a representative, Marsha Blackburn, she's saying Taylor Swift would be the first victim of socialism, Marxism. So it's Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican Tennessee, said during an interview published this week that Taylor Swift, who came out against her ahead of the 2018 midterms, and other performers would be, quote, the first victim of a socialist or Marxist government. When I'm talking to my friends who are musicians and entertainers, I say, if we have a socialistic government, if we have Marxism, you're going to be the first ones who will be caught off because the state would have to approve your music, Blackburn told Breitbart News. And Taylor Swift came after me in my 2018 campaign, but Taylor Swift would be the first victim of that because when you look at Marxist socialist societies, they do not allow women to dress or sing or be on stage or to entertain, she continued, adding that such governments don't allow protection of private intellectual property rights. It was unclear to which societies the Tennessee Republican was referring. I know the left is all out now and trying to change country music and make it woke, she added. So obviously she had come out against Marsha Blackburn, Taylor Swift, that is. Now, what's really frustrating about this is somehow the equating of Democrats, mainstream Democrats, which is what the wave was for. That wave, that blue wave, was for these centrist Democrats, these mainstream Democrats. And so it's this conflation of mainstream Democrats, your Barack Obamas, your Nancy Pelosi's, your Dianne Feinsteins, these kinds of people, as socialists or Marxists. These people are capitalists to their bone. So the idea that mainstream Democrats are socialist is hilarious. Now, it's terrible because I'm kind of falling into the trap here of getting triggered by the troll, essentially. Because that's, at the end of the day, what this is. This is just kind of a big troll. Like, haha, Democrats are socialist Marxists. It's just so frustrating because not only is it dumb to say that someone like Bernie Sanders is a Marxist or a socialist, but it's so over the top, so flagrantly stupid to say that the Democrats, which is what Taylor Swift did, Taylor Swift came out in support of the blue wave against Donald Trump, the mainstream Democrats. The mainstream Democrats are not Marxist or socialist. And the comment about, Marxist or socialist societies not letting women dress how they want or whatever, I don't know. I'm not even sure how true that is. I do know that in the Soviet Union, I guess you did have to get your art approved. Obviously, there's been a lot of brutal repression and oppression under, Marxist governments and these authoritarian governments, of course. But this is not even close to what the Democrats or even someone like Bernie Sanders, like the most left-wing politician, is. Like if you ask people who the most left-wing politicians are, probably going to say like Bernie and AOC. But even they're not socialist or Marxist. So it's bonkers not only to claim that, but then it's insane to say that mainstream Democrats, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, almost all of the representatives, Democrat representatives. Of course, she was talking to Breitbart, and this is a common thing that Republicans do. They call the estate tax the death tax and all this stuff. It's just the framing manners in order to try to, smear your opponent or create straw men and things of that nature.